Let's look at this paranum only building block in some more detail. So let's Control Alt click on one of these entries, and we made a little bit of a change to the template. What we said was, okay, let's add these numbers to the heading 2. So if it's chapter 2, then this would be 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and so on. Let's look at another one here. If we go down here, and we'll Control Alt click on this one, so this would be 7.2. This is 7.1, and so on. So what we want to do here is we want to add these numbers, and let's add a little spacing too to make this look a little bit better. So first of all, we'll add a little bit of spacing to this. Let's make this 6 points, and we'll update the style. So that gives us a little more breathing room here. So since we're going to add content, we need to go to the reference page because we want to add those paragraph numbers here. So let's go to View, Reference Pages, and then of course what we need here is we need the paranum only building block. So it's $paranum only building block, and then we want to decide how we want to separate these. And let's separate these with an M space, which is wider than a regular space. So to type this on the keyboard, it's Escape, space bar, and then the M key. So that gives us a little bit of extra space there. Now, the one thing you're going to notice, again, we talked about this before, this is a little disconcerting maybe that this is up at the top and it's not down here in the context of the heading 2. So what you can do is, if you want to, you can triple click on this paragraph and then press your Shift key and click on that one, and then cut it to the clipboard, bring your cursor up here, and then paste it. So that kind of gets things maybe in a little bit more reasonable order. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll triple click, we'll cut it, we'll hit the up arrow key, and we'll paste it. So now this is kind of mimicking what we're going to see on the actual body page. So let's go back to the body page. And by now you're not going to see these numbers until we actually update the book. So let's update it, and then we get our numbers. Now what I want to focus on is what does that building block actually do, that paranum only? How does it know what to bring over and what to leave behind? Let's go to one of the chapters. Let's Control Alt click here, and let's bring up the paragraph designer. So what happens here is FrameMaker looks at these building blocks in our auto number, and what it does is it says, okay, if they want the paranum only, I'm going to find the first building block, and these building blocks always start with the open angle bracket. So this is a building block, and this end building block just says bring over, get the number, get the previous number in the series, and then we have a literal dot in here, a literal period, and then we have another building block. So what it does is it's going to give us the first building block, anything in between, followed by the last building block, and that's all we're going to get. That's all that paranum only does. And I'm going to prove that to you here. Let's just add something a little bit silly to the middle of this. So let's just add let's add an asterisk or two. Okay, so we've got this funny looking thing here. So let's go ahead and update the table of contents. And let's double click on it to bring it to the front. And you can see what it did. The paranum only, even though those are literal characters and they're not building blocks per se, they're in between the two building blocks. And so it's going to bring them over. So paranum only will always start with the first building block, whatever it is. In this case, it's N. And then it'll go up to and including the last building block, which is N plus. So anything in between here, like these little asterisks, or in the case what we actually want is the dot, that's going to come over. That's going to be part of the paranum only building block. And there you can see it.